Hi, Scott Lackman from 4510 TV, a community worth watching. Today's episode, viewers, we're joined with Katrina Gilligan, who you might recognise from Katrina's Beauty Works around southeast Queensland and a few local stores here in the Moreton Bay region. But today we're at Katrina's home, where she is a wildlife rescuer and has a real passion for wildlife in general. Thanks for having us out to your home.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, put the call out. I wanted to come and showcase what you're doing with Wildlife Rescue Queensland, an organisation based in Narangba but servicing our Moreton Bay region for animals that basically I'm going to get you to do all the talking, but for animals that are in distress or have been left in situations. Tell us what you're doing here, what you've set up over time and how you're helping the organisation.
Okay, so I'm a wildlife rescuer and carer, and so that's with Wildlife Rescue Queensland. So I do rescues where I go out to animals that have been hit by cars or things like that, and we take animals from tiny little pinkies all the way up to, adult animals, possums, bandicoots, kangaroos, birds, bats, all of our amazing animals. So we do rescues, and then they need to have somewhere where they can come to rehabilitate and eventually be released. So
how does that work? Like, obviously people may see a distressed animal on the side of the road, they call, and we'll have some links as we do on our videos for how people can get in touch, but it starts with a phone call that an animal's in distress. What happens next?
Okay, so we have with Wildlife Rescue Queensland a 24-hour hotline, so people can call the hotline number and then it comes out to rescuers like myself, and we go out and we do things like pouch checks and collect those animals and take them up to Australia Zoo or RSPCA for checkouts. And then if everything's sort of looking good and they're, say, a little orphan, then they'll come into care. So the important one to remember is pouch checks. Okay. That if an animal's been hit, a possum or a kangaroo, they can have a viable baby in their pouch that can live for up to 3 days.
Wow. Okay.
In the pouch.
And yeah, if we're quick enough and if you are active enough to check, pouch check is the catchphrase. You went through a list of animals behind us here. There's some possums here. Tell us just a story about maybe one of the fellas in the cage here.
Okay, so in the end cage, I've got Squidge, and she's a brush-tail possum. So she was rescued as a tiny little orphan. So her mum was hit by a car, and so she was with another carer who looked after her, and she was more of an area where she didn't have big aviaries and set up. So she kept her for a certain amount of time, and then she's come to our place because we've got big aviaries that allow them to get strong and climb and get used to eating all of the native foliage before they're released, and we can release here.
And the sort of time frame from collection, nursing to release?
Probably around about 10 months. It really does depend on the size of the possum or kangaroo when they come into care. A lot longer for kangaroos.
Yeah. But speaking of kangaroos, some overlay footage that our viewers would probably be seeing right now as we talk about it. You've created just this amazing enclosure, and thanks to hubby Shane putting in some hard yards, but you've made an amazing enclosure on your private property. Just having that facility, as you say, not many people in suburbia or even small acreage around the Moreton Bay region would have that space to care the way you are. Just run through what you've set up there.
Yeah, we're really fortunate that we're on a beautiful sort of parcel of land. We're on about 10 acres, and we also back onto some amazing bushland that allows us to be able to release. So we've set up a kangaroo release enclosure because they're pretty rare. It's rare to find property big enough and safe enough that isn't on major main roads and things for release. So it allows kangaroos to come into this area for safe release.
Yep. We were down in the enclosure there that people are seeing now. Off camera, we were talking. A bit of a shout out down the camera. If someone does come across, if someone does have suitable land available, whether it's in the Moreton Bay region or beyond Wimmera, Diagula ranges, etc. If someone does have natural land available to them, whether it's private property or reserves nearby, please get in touch with us, because, as I said, there's not a lot of properties locally that aren't close to main roads or transport that could maybe take that release activity and help you guys.
Yeah, we are in desperate need of suitable places to be able to release these beautiful animals that have come to sort of harm and things, so that they need to find some safe places. So absolutely, if you've got a property, Wildlife Rescue Queensland would be very grateful if you connected with us.
Sweet. Now I want to say for our viewers, and I know people recognise you day to day, you're in your beauty uniform and very pristine and beautified and all that sort of stuff. It is awesome to see you in your organic character. This is what you love. This is your passion. Where did this come from?
I guess I've always loved animals. From the smallest of ages, I was always that person that would take the stray bird home and, Mum, Dad, we've got to save this puppy or kitten or whatever. So I've always been like that. And then just with work, I guess it was about 5-6 years ago, I just decided to really explore that. And I think I needed some time that wasn't just full-on work.
Yep.
So, mind you, it is full on. Night feeds.
Hopefully more carers and even volunteers. If you're wanting to get involved as a volunteer, I'm sure there's avenues there as well.
Yeah, that's right. We do, in the Morayfield area, we do wildlife inductions, where we train people to be wildlife carers. So we would love anyone who's happy to do some rescues or would have an interest in that. There's a big need in all places all over Australia, but in this area in particular, we need more people. As
we always do on 4510 TV, we'll have some links to how you can get in contact with Wildlife Rescue Queensland. As we said, Katrina is one of maybe 300 members from the Gold Coast right up to the Capricorn Coast, a big organisation. If you're one of the volunteers with the heart that you have and the passion that you have for caring for animals, if that emanates through the other 299 members, I'm sure our distressed animals are in good hands. Just want to say thank you for the opportunity. Your place is amazing. You're doing amazing things, and hats off to you.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for coming out.